The crabs quickly snapped into battle formation. They raised their claws high to confront the incoming seabirds. Then, as if nothing had happened, they calmly walked away. But before leaving, they made sure to snatch the seabird's last feather. On a nearby ice floe, a family of penguins was sunbathing. Out of nowhere, an uninvited guest showed up. An orca came charging straight at them, jaws wide open. One penguin barked out in order. In an instant, the others huddled tightly to the side. Unable to stop in time, the orca slammed into the ice and sank back into the sea. The ants worked day and night under their captain's command, gathering food for the winter. But suddenly, an anteater launched a surprise attack. As a comrade's life hung in the balance, the captain gave new orders. All the ants dropped their food at once. They lined up, holding on to one another until they formed a giant ball. With the captain leading, they rolled straight onto the anteater's nose. Unable to breathe, the anteater collapsed and drew his last breath. The meerkat stumbled upon a bright red fruit. They waited eagerly for it to ripen. But then, a dark shadow streaked past. Startled, the meerkats darted back into their burrows. It turned out to be a vulture. Clearly, he was also eyeing the fruit. Right under the meerkats' noses, he plucked it and flew off without a backward glance. The meerkats were furious. They raised their tiny fists and charged after him. The vulture, however, didn't take them seriously. He simply flapped harder, trying to leave them behind. But the very next second, one brave meerkat leapt onto him, clutching the recovered fruit. It beamed with joy. Seeing this, the others followed suit. One by one, they grabbed each other's legs, forming a long dangling ladder. Together, they tried to drag the vulture down. But even with all their combined strength, it wasn't enough. With a sudden burst of power, the vulture carried them into the sky. The meerkats suddenly found themselves on a wild roller coaster ride. Then, with a sharp tail flick, the vulture sent them flying in every direction. Even so, they refused to let go of the fruit. As the vulture swooped again, one meerkat just before being knocked away tossed the fruit to a teammate. From there, they passed it along in midair, like a relay race, hoping to throw off the vulture's focus. But the vulture cut in halfway. He missed the catch and plunged straight down. Seizing the chance, he dove and barely managed to grab the falling fruit. But just then, a meerkat leapt onto his back. Soon, more and more meerkats piled on. The vulture suddenly slammed the brakes. The whole swarm went tumbling off. Finally free of them, the vulture grew cocky, but his pride was his downfall. He smacked headfirst into a cliff wall. The fruit slipped from his talons. In the end, it fell back into the meerkat's hands.